Hello everybody, welcome to the latest episode of Soundscape. So a few weeks ago in Trivandrum I had gone to watch a band perform. I was really amazed by their singer, so I got him on the show here with us. His name is Kuriakose, and there he goes.
So you can keep me inside the pocket of your ripped jeans, holding me closer till our eyes meet. You won't ever be alone. Oh, you can keep me inside the pocket of your ripped jeans, holding me closer till our eyes meet. You won't ever be alone. Wait for me to come home.
So that's what I was talking about. Welcome to the show, George.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Excited to be here.
Alright, so on the show, in this short span, we try to get a deepest look possible of the musicians that we have on board. So let's hear it. How did you get onto music? What was your first brush with it?
Well, I actually owe it all to my mom. Back in school, I think 3rd grade or 4th grade, I guess. You remember the youth festivals we had in school, right?
Yes.
So it was boring at the time, but it was the best we could do. So my mom used to actually sign me up for every music event in the youth festival. I wasn't really on board with it, but she actually signed me up, so I had to go with it, and that's how I actually started developing this interest in music. And she's also a singer. She used to be a singer, and she's inspired me a lot. And she has supported me throughout my music interests and things like that.
Oh, that's very interesting. Probably mothers have their own way of doing this. It's my mother who forced me into music too at one point in time.
God bless her.
So George, you were talking about your active participation in the school events. So did you have any lessons going that point of time? Singing lessons or guitar lessons or music lessons?
Well, I don't mean to be offensive, but my mom actually enrolled me for classical music training. I actually did not like it much, so I quit on my 3rd day, and I've actually had no training as of now. But I'm actually interested in taking up training for vocals.
Vocal lessons. Yeah. You mean the physics side of it?
Yeah, the scientific side. Yeah.
All right. So besides that, you've not been taking any lessons?
No, I haven't.
Completely self-taught.
Yeah. Well, I've used YouTube tutorials to learn keyboard and guitar, but other than that, it's mostly self-taught.
All right. So I watched your band perform the other day. So if you could tell us about your band, please.
My band is called Monotone, and me and my 2 friends, Keshav and Ronnie, we started it recently. We just started out, and we had our very first gig at Beetroot Circle, and we received a lot of feedback, and it was mostly positive. So we're actually deciding to take it to the next level, start YouTube covers and things like that. Yeah.
All right, that's very interesting. I was watching your show that day. It was very nice.
Oh yeah, you were there.
Probably you guys should check this band out. It's called Monotone, but they're not monotonic. George, you were just talking about taking the band to the next level. So does that include an album or tour or something like that? Or?
Yeah, we're actually thinking of starting our own composition album, but there'll be also cover albums, and our main inspiration is actually Coldplay and Chris Martin. How they've risen through time is actually a really good example, which we look at, and we're trying to sort of go in the same path. Yeah.
To keep at it.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Does your band have any sort of theme, like Pink Floyd had mental illness or something like that?
We don't have a theme, and we don't actually have a fixed genre either. We're actually trying out different genres all the time.
So it's absolutely fluid.
Fluid, mostly,
All right. So I saw your lineup that day. So are you going to have are you going to stick to the rock format, or are you going to have other instruments coming in?
No, we're going to have acoustic, and we're actually trying to go into jazz because it's not something you find here much. I mean, there are some bands, but it's not too popular here in Trivandrum.
Absolutely.
So we're trying to try a hand at that.
All the best with that.
Thank you.
And now probably it's time for us to get him playing again. George, why don't you play a little?
Yeah, of course.
കാതിനീളം കൊണ്ടു സ്നേഹത്തിൻ മഴവിൽ ഞാൻ ജീവി
do you have any particular connection with the song?
Oh yeah, when I was in school, me and my friends actually made this song.
Uh-huh.
We dedicated it to our principal who was having his farewell.
Oh,
And
very touchy, huh? I'm sure the person would have loved
yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right, so now that we're towards the end of the show, I'd like to ask you some questions later, like something I ask most of the players who come on the show. Do you have any words of advice or words of wisdom for people who are just considering the idea of toying with music?
Well, in this scenario, you might have a lot of hate and suppression because you're doing something out of the box and it's not very entertained in this area. So I would say keep at it and don't give up. You'll eventually reach somewhere successful.
Perseverance.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. I'm sure somebody will be listening and picking this up. I hope you had fun watching that song, and now it's time for me to say bye to George here. Such a pleasure having you on the show, George. I wish you all the best with your future projects, your recording and everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So that's it for now. Catch me on the next week's episode of Soundscape. It's bye-bye till